Baik, selamat siang. Kita sekarang di restoran The Valley, cuman laptopnya salah arah. Mestinya ke sana. Jadi kita sekarang begini. Jadi di depan saya ada tamu, Sandy.
Hi everyone, halo semuanya.
Sandy ini dari UNSW. Mungkin in matter of weeks or when will you defend your thesis?
So I submit my thesis in 3 months. Lucunya Australia itu satu-satunya negara yang nggak ada thesis defense.
Okay.
Jadi kita tulis, kita submit, terus kita dapat pemberat kertas.
Okay.
It's not as exciting as a thesis defense.
Okay. Jadi first message, kalau mau S3 di Australia tidak ada thesis defense. Dan Sandy ini bidang psikologi, jadi sangat jauh dari saya geologi. Psikologi batu, psikologi orang, Sandy. Okay, can you tell me a bit about yourself, Sandy?
Absolutely. And so, hi everyone, my name is Sandy, and I'm just a few months away from submitting my dissertation. I've been at UNSW. I work with Dr. Steve Most, and my main area is we're trying to develop a treatment for anxiety yang bisa dilakukan di smartphone. Dan treatment tersebut tidak memerlukan terapi, jadi bisa diakses semua orang di mana-mana, mau di kampung-kampung, mau in any country. They can do the task, and it can help with their anxiety and their depression. I was born in Sydney, Australia, tapi orang tua saya itu orang Sumatera. Cuman bahasa Indonesia saya tuh kurang baik, makanya nanti kita bicara gado-gado mungkin.
But you said your mother is in Jakarta?
My mom is in Jakarta, tapi my mom asli Palembang.
Oh.
Iya.
Oke. Jadi born in Australia sampai sekarang nggak pulang-pulang berarti?
Enggak, jadi lahir di Australia, lalu langsung balik ke Indonesia. Then I lived in Australia for a few years because of the 98 revolution.
Okay.
And when I came back, I forgot all my Indonesian. But I finished high school in Jakarta actually. And yeah, SMA di Jakarta, di namanya Tunas Muda School di Jakarta Barat. And then I went to Australia and UNSW to do my university research. Yeah, to do my university degree. Yeah.
Good. So, jadi Sandy ini dalam rangka ke Indonesia ini pertama visit keluarga pasti.
Ya,
visit family, kemudian sambil itu dia jalan-jalan ke beberapa universitas, termasuk Airlangga, YARSI, Jakarta ya. Kemudian hari ini di Bandung hanya khusus ketemu saya, jadi terima kasih. Juga mungkin juga ingin jalan-jalan di Bandung, tapi mungkin karena ada saya juga di situ.
Thank you for making time.
Yeah. Thank you for visiting me in Bandung. Sandy mengenalkan masalah open science ya. Jadi di dalam presentasinya selalu disisipkan masalah sains terbuka. Gitu.
Yep.
Nah, mungkin ini psikologi itu mungkin banyak yang rekan-rekan kita di sini tuh yang bidangnya pasti bukan psikologi. Gitu. Tapi apakah sains terbuka itu diawali atau identik juga dengan psikologi?
Jadi sebenarnya the whole open science movement started because there was a problem.
Okay.
And so the problem came and the solution was open science. And it came out of an experiment where they found that a large number of psychology studies, including especially social psychology, could not be replicated. Jadi istilahnya, the reason psychology is a big focus in the open science movement is because that's where they first realized there's a problem. And memang, it started in psychology, tapi sebenarnya, dan ini saya diberitahukan oleh rekan kita di Bali, Rebecca Willen. Sebenarnya ada penulis buku Charles Babbage. Dia menulis tentang p-hacking di hard sciences, which is chemistry and physics, about 180 years ago. Jadi meskipun sekarang gerakannya di psikologi, because we first started, the problem has been there all along. In a lot of the hard sciences yang menurut kita, maybe this only happens in social sciences. No. It's been happening for a long time, and only now are we beginning to move against it.
Okay.
Begitu.
Oke, jadi Oke, psikologi. Dan tadi ada kata-kata replikasi ya, replicated, could not be replicated.
That's
Itu
correct.
What does it mean?
Absolutely.
In a practical way.
In a practical way. So in research, we're trying to find truth. And if there is something that's true, then no matter if you look for it, if I look for it, or if somebody looks for it, it should still be truth.
Okay.
1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4.
Okay.
Meaning there's an underlying theory. Oh, for example, if I took a spoon here in Bandung, we're in Valley Restaurant, and I drop it, it falls, which is the law of gravity. If I were to go back home in Sydney, Australia, if I dropped it, bukannya naik ke atas, it's still going to go down, right?
Yeah.
Because that is truth. It's consistent. It's a scientific finding.
Consistent.
Consistency. And so if I find something in my research, I'm making an inference about the population from my research. I'm saying the human mind, because I'm a psychologist, is like this. So if I do the research, and if you do the research, it should be the same, because it seeks an underlying truth. And replicability, the replicability crisis basically says that I found something, but you do the exact same thing and you don't find it. Or you do something and I can't find it. Which means that what's published in papers may not be absolute truth.
Okay.
And that's a problem, because then does the effect exist? Do our findings, are they consistent? Are they what's the word for it? Are they reliable if they don't replicate? And so practically replication means that if something really exists and something is true, no matter who looks for it, they should find it. But they're not.
Oke. Jadi sebenarnya isu replikasi atau reproducibility ini memang kita sejak awal kan waktu belajar sains sejak SMA itu kan selalu dibilang bahwa sains itu atau riset itu harus bisa dilakukan ulang.
Yes,
ya kan?
That's right.
Itu selalu dibilang. Gitu. Tapi sekarang pada saat ada isu reproducibility, replicability, itu semua orang merasa itu sesuatu yang baru, gitu kan?
Iya.
Yeah, many people thought it's new thing.
Yep.
Yeah, they forgot about what they learned in high school.
Absolutely.
Since high school. Yeah, so jadi bahkan mungkin juga di bidang saya geologi. Nah, saya nggak tahu ya kalau di geologi itu if we found this rock that exposed somewhere, and then no matter when people visit the site today, tomorrow, 2 days later, or maybe a week, 10 years from now, it's going still to be the same. It's the same rock.
Yep.
But the problem is two different people describe the same thing. We can get two different descriptions.
Absolutely.
How could we deal with that?
That's a very, very good question.
That's because geology is it's an hard science, objective science, but many times the description is very qualitative. So it can be the exact same description between two people.
Yeah. So it means
observing the same rock,
same rock, but then come up with two different descriptions.
Yeah.
Now, I think there can be several different reasons for that. Number one, perhaps it's like just going through the different possibilities. Number one, it could be that we need more standardized measures, and that's not only in geology; it's all over science. For example, there's this one website in psychology. Instead of we're measuring one thing, how well can we control our behavior? And the website shows that all over the internet, all over the publications, there are several different ways people measure. But it's the exact same thing. And the different measures yield different conclusions. And so perhaps one of the possibilities, we need more standardized measures. But also that links into one of the major open science tenets is that pre-registration. We need to know what measure we're using beforehand. Because there's this one study, and if you want, I can put in the link as well. It's very, very cool. And because I do a lot of quantitative work. Jadi ada satu penelitian, referee pemain bola, how likely are they to give red cards to orang yang kulitnya hitam dibanding kulitnya putih. Gitu. Have you seen this study before?
No.
It's very interesting, and they gave it to many different labs gitu. Many different labs investigated this question. Dari yang istilahnya non-significant in statistics ke a little bit significant sampai benar-benar signifikan banget. So this huge range. Do you know the problem? It was the same data set.
Okay.
The same data set analyzed in different ways can yield very, very different results. And so when we're doing statistics, when we're doing analysis, when we're doing even qualitative work, for example, in geology, before we encounter the stone, we need to list down what is it we're looking for, what are the measures we're looking for, why are we using those measures. And finally, we also need to be very honest about our thought process. Karena antara we do a study, investigation, quantitative, qualitative, sampai menjadi paper, there's a lot of decisions that can be made that we don't know in the final paper that actually can change the outcome. Do we use this theory? Do we use that theory? Do we use this framework? Or we use this model? We want to approach it from this way or that way. And whether we realize it or not, that actually affects the replicability, that reflects the reliability, credibility, and the trustworthiness of our conclusions. So the good thing about pre-registration, there's a very good website, as we both know, OSF, the Open Science Framework. It lets us log each process, or each thought process. For example, in a study that I recently ran with my supervisor, we looked at people's perception on self-driving vehicles, with Tesla now having the self-driving vehicles and everything. And we said, we're going to do this. And then later on, we thought about it a bit more and we realized, hey, there's a better way to do it. And instead of hiding it and then justifying it later, we write it down. Okay, now we're going to be doing this. Jadi our entire thought process dengan awal sampai akhir itu sangat transparan. Jadi people can see not only the decisions we make, but how we get to those decisions. And so going back to the geology example, I believe that if we have more transparent thought processes, why do we use this framework, why do we use this model along the way, especially before we collect the data, that could be very helpful.
Yeah, because in geology itu ada 3 kelompok besar batuan beku, igneous rock, sedimentary rock.
I studied this
a
long time
in
ago.
high school, and then metamorphic rocks. That's the 3 major first classification that we have to make, first decision. Which rock that we observe includes in which type. And then we drill down, and then igneous rock, say andesite or granite, and then drill down again the mineral composition. Nah, in that stage itu mulai ada masalah. Jadi sampai batuan beku sampai granit mungkin orang bisa sepakat, tapi begitu granit X, granit A, granit B, granit C, itu baru bermasalah. Nah, karena tidak semua level observation di geology itu sampai ke level mineral composition. Gitu. Jadi bisa saja hanya visual. Nah, itu. Jadi standardized.
There's a very, very good paper in Nature Behavior called A Problem in Theory. And it says that because we know that with the replicability crisis, there are many causes. There's no one solution. And the paper tells us bahwa kemungkinan one of the reasons we have the replicability crisis itu bukan cuma karena statistik, bukan cuma karena mungkin ada yang data torture atau hacking gitu. Tapi a lot of the sciences we have, they're very young sciences dan teorinya belum kuat. Contohnya sains yang teori ini kuat adalah high energy physics yang lakukan di CERN. So if they have a model and they measure it sampai detail, and they have a hypothesis, if we find something, this is what it means. If we don't find it, this is what it means. And perhaps in geology and psychology it's similar. We need better tools to measure what we're measuring. Contohnya, misalnya my area of research is, if let's talk about something relevant, like bulan puasa gitu, because in certain times of the year I fast as well. For me to be fasting and to look at food and not eat, there is some control I need. That's called cognitive resources or cognitive control. Nah, bisa ada 2 different tasks that measure cognitive control. For example, it's a very famous one called the Stroop task, where you have colors and ada warna kata-katanya. I can give you the link. It's a very exciting psychological experiment. And we have another one as well. And we find that they don't correlate with each other. Gak ada korelasi. And bisa ada dua kemungkinan. Satu, there are different levels of cognitive control. Atau dua, our tools are not refined enough. There's a lot of measurement error. Yang terjadi that we can't find the correlation. And so I feel that in a lot of sciences, we do need to be more open and transparent. But if we pre-register a study that isn't going to answer the question, or a bad study, it's still a bad study. So instead of only improving open science,